मुनित्रय प्रार्थना। येनाक्षरसमाम्नायमधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। येन धौता गिरः पुंसां विमलैः शब्दवारिभिः तमश्चाज्ञानजं भिन्नं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्। ॐ नमः पाणिनिकात्यायन पतञ्जलिभ्यः शब्दविद्या संप्रदाय प्रवर्तकेभ्यो मुनिभ्यो महद्भ्यो गुरुभ्यः। अथ प्रथमाध्याये चतुर्थपादः आरभ्यते। प्रथमं सूत्रम् आकडाराद् एका संज्ञा। Here a is a avyaya. Kadarat, this is Panchami. Kadara Shabdat Panchami. Eka Sanya. Eka Sanya इत्युक्ते एकस्य एका एव संज्ञा भवति. For a particular thing there is only one name given. Two names are not given. Two or three names are not given. A indicates the limit. Kadarat. Until we hear the word Kadara in the Sutra Krama, when you proceed forward, you will get Kadara iti ekam sutram, where you hear Kadara Shabdaha. A Kadarat means that to that extent, to that limit. Starting from the Sutra, to the Sutra Kadaraha Karmadharaye. This sutra will appear in the second chapter, second pada, last 38. Tavat Pariyantam, till we get that word Kadara, from this sutra onwards, till we get that means till 238. Kadaraha Karmadharaye iti sutra Pariyantam. Whatever the sutras are narrated, in those sutras you will get only one sanya word for a particular thing. No two sanyas will be there for a particular thing. For the same thing, two names will not be given. That is what it says. Generally, in the world, for a particular thing, there are two or three names, different names, especially in Sanskrit literature. For certain words, there are so many different names. They are called Paryaya Shabdas. What do you call in English?
Equivalent words.
Synonyms?
Synonyms. The meaning.
Yes. For example, water. Jalam, Udakam, Apaha, Ichadaya. There are so many words. Swarga, Div, Nakam, Nakaha, Ichadaya. Almost for every particular thing, we have got two or three different names, and in the world, they are equally valid. They cannot be rejected anywhere. They can be employed to mean water in any circumstances, in any statement. They are equally applicable. But in the Shastras, it's a different story. In the Shastras, for a particular thing, only a particular sanya will be given, a particular name to identify it. Name is something to identify a particular thing. So for a particular thing, only a particular sanya will be given, and no 2-3 sanyas will be given. That is generally the tradition of our Shastras, Vyakarana Shastra also. But what happens when you proceed, you will be getting some occasions where a particular thing is called by two different names. We will be getting the examples. And two different rules will give the same sanya for a particular thing. And those two different rules are equally applicable, equally forceful, equally meaningful. One cannot be sacrificed for the sake of other. Because in our sutra literature, what is a sutra? We told in the beginning. Especially Shastra Vakyani, Sutrani, Katham Bhavanti, Astobham Anavadyancha, Sutram Sutra Vido Viduhu. A sutram is something which cannot be stopped. In no circumstances it cannot be stopped. It has got very great force. It is applicable anywhere and elsewhere. It cannot be stopped. The influence cannot be restricted. So, if by chance, when you proceed further up to Kadara, Karmadhare, up to the limit in which this Eka Sanya is given, suppose you get two sanyas for a particular thing by different rules, both the rules being equally forceful, equally valid, equally strong, then what is to be done? The grammarians dwelt upon this subject and then they said, suppose the situation comes like that. The former rule and later rule, two different rules. They give two different names for a particular thing. Then, what is to be done? The latter rule has to be accepted.
Followed.
Latter rule has to be accepted in such cases. Why? Suppose the former rule and later rule, they are equally forceful, equally applicable, equally valid. Nobody can restrict their freedom. In such a case, suppose a particular thing has been named by the former rule, and again by a different rule it is named differently. Suppose the second later principle has been ignored in favor of the first rule, then why at all the second rule is to be framed at all? If the former rule only is to be applied, if the sanya given in the former rule only is to be applied, then why at all a second rule is given, giving a different sanya? Only if the former rule is applied everywhere, the second rule is wasteful. It cannot be applied anywhere. Anavakasho bhavati. Shastram says it is anavakashaha. It has no scope at all. When the first sanya dominates the second sanya, where is the question of second sanya's place? It has no scope at all. Then, if it has no scope at all, then why at all it should be given? Why at all a particular thing is to be given two names? It is redundant, it is wasteful. The Vyakarana Munis, they don't do like that. Not even a single letter in the sutras is wasteful. Everything has got its own meaning, its own force. So, the later grammarians have inferred that when in this chapter, where only Eka Sanya is imposed for a particular thing, if you get different sanyas by different rules, by chance, sometimes you get, then what is to be done? The latter rule. Which rule, if not applied, cannot have a scope to be applied anywhere else. If only former rule is to be applied, if only formal sanya is to be applied, the later sanya will never get a chance to come in the picture. So such type of second rule, later rule only is to be taken when you have got two different rules giving a different sanyas for a particular thing, which are equally forceful, where the rules are equally forceful, equally applicable, equally imposable. So that is the inference the grammarians have reached at. We will take one example, then it will be very clear. There is one rule we are going to come across shortly. Hraswam laghu. Please refer 10th rule. Hraswam laghu. Again refer 11th rule. Samyoge guru. What does it mean? Hraswaksharam is named laghu. Hraswaksharam means Ukalo achi hraswa dirgha plutaha iti we have already explained in the earlier chapter. Ekamatra kalam. In a letter that can be pronounced, that can be uttered in ekamatra. Ekamatra also we have defined. In one eyebrow, eyebrow lifting, or chotika. The time elapsed in hearing this sound. That is called ekamatra. So ekamatra aksharam is called hraswam. So here the lagu sanya has been given. Where do we get, when we take an example, bid is dhatu. Bid bhakaradhanantaram ikaraha. This is hraswaksharam. Ekamatra kalikam. So this is laghu. As per this, hraswam laghu. And then, what is the purpose of giving a particular name for that hraswaksharam? Because in the later sutras, we are going to laghu. We are going to use the word laghu only for hraswaksharam. For example, on bid dhatuhu, suppose you are going to impose a pratyaya like trich or lut, anadyatana bhavishyat kalaha, athava trich. Trich means kartrardhe. A dhatu tells an action. The person who is doing that action is, if you want to express, you have to impose a trich pratyaya. For example, karta, kartri shabdaha, the person who is doing it. Hartra, the person who is carrying it. Evam. So, when this bid dhatu, when it is enjoined upon by trich pratyaya, the format will be bheta. Here, what has happened? Ikara, after bhakara, it gets guna by a particular sutra. What is that sutra? Uganta laghupathasya cha. Laghupathaha. Biddi the upatha. Laghu aksharam. That admits guna. So, laghu aksharasya guno bhavati. Sarvadhatuka ardhadhatukayoho pratyayayoho pare. So, bid ikara will get ekara. So, the purpose of calling it E, that ikara, as laghu, it is to get a karyam like laghupatha gunakarya. Evamcha, next sutra will go. Samyoge guru. A hraswaksharam, when it is followed by a samyoga, samyoga means the assemblage of two consonants, two or more. Indra, ikara is there. Nakara, dakara, ref are there afterwards. Samyoga aksharam is there. So, that Indra, ikara, it is followed by nakara dakara refa samyogaksharam. This rule says samyoge pare hrasvaksharam guru bhavati. So here Indra ikara, as per the earlier rule, it is hrasvaksharam, it gets the lagu sanya. Now because it is followed by samyogakshara, it gets guru sanya. So what is the akadara deka sanya uktam kila? Only one sanya is to be there for a particular thing. Rasvakshara eka eva sanya bhavet, natu lakutvam cha gurutvam cha. And what is the solution? The solution already we have told. That is, the latter rule only is to be applied. Especially the latter rule, if it is not applied, if it is sacrificed because of the earlier rule, that will never have a scope at all. A hrasvaksharam will always be a lagu aksharam. Then why at all he should frame a rule, samyoge guru, hrasvaksharam samyogakshare pare gurutvam bhavati iti. Why should he frame this rule? This rule will become redundant, purposeless, scopeless. So, because it becomes scopeless when the earlier sanya only is taken in all circumstances, so the second sanya only is to be applied when a hrasvaksharam is followed by a samyoga, only guru sanya is to be applied. Now, what is the purpose of this? Let us see. For example, tatsha. Tatsha, that is also a dhatu. Takara anantaravarti akaraha. Anantaram chakara. Cha. Cha is the combination of two, kakara and sakara. So this akara after takara, as per the rule samyoge guru, it will get guru sanya. A lot of purpose is there. If it becomes a guru sanya, there are so many things. For example, touch. You derive lut lakara on the touch dhatu. Lung lakara, not lut, lung lakara. That means lung lakara is samanya bhutakaram. There is one rule when you impose lung lakara on taksha dhatuhu, the taksha will become, it gets reduplicated, and then ta will be T will be ikara, itascha is lopo bhavati, adagamo bhavati. If you take akara after takara as guru, as per the second rule, it gets the form atitakshat. Now, atitakshat will be the format when akara after takara is taken as laghu. Sanvat laghuni iti sutram. But it is a fault. It should be atatakshat. Because akara after takara, it should be taken as guru, as per the second rule. If it is not taken as a guru, if it is taken as a laghu, as per the earlier rule, we will get a faulty form. So, when you take it as a laghu, when you take it as guru, different operations are performed grammatically. So, the second rule is to be applied in case of tatsha. Akara will become guru only. Otherwise, it gives rise to faulty forms. We will take another example also to make it very clear. There is, afterwards we are going to come across, after 2 or 3 rules, swadishu asarvanamasthane we are going to come across. Swadishu asarvanamasthane. When we come to this rule, we will explain it in more detail. Now we will just touch it. This rule says Swadishu, Swadi Pratyayeshu Pareshu. When you operate Swadi Pratyayas on a particular Pradipadika, particular Anga, then Asarvanamassthanam bhavati chet tad, that becomes Pada. It will be called a Pada. And Pada Karyani Bhavanti. All the grammatical operations which have to be performed on Pada, they will be performed there. Swadi Pratyayeshu Pareshu. For example, to be very simple, we will take Su, Au, Jas, Ichadi. There, Sarvanamassthanam means first five. Su, Au, Jas, Out. These first five sthanas are called Sarvanamasthana. Of course, in Napumsakalinga, Prathama Bahuvachanam and Dvitiya Bahuvachanam are called Sarvanamasthana. This particular rule says Asarvanamassthaneshu, when the sthanam is Asarvanamassthanam, that is, barring those five sthanas, in the case of Pumlinga and Strilinga, barring those five sthanas, the remaining 16 sthanas, we have got 21 sthanas in Swadi Pratyaya. Swaujasamautya Sutreshu, we will take for simplicity's sake, we will take the sutra. 21 sthanas we have got. So five are called Sarvanamassthanam. The remaining 16 are called Asarvanamassthanam. That is, Dvitiya Bahuvachanam Arabhya, Saptami Bahuvachana Paryantam. These are 16 sthanas. In these 16 sthanas are called Asarvanamassthanam. Na Sarvanamassthanam, Asarvanamassthanam. In Asarvanamassthaneshu, the Angam, that is the word which is getting that Pratyaya after that, the word on which the Pratyaya is to be suffixed, that will be called a Padam, and Padakaryani will be performed on that. And afterwards, there is another rule. The rule says Yachi Bham. It is giving another different sanya. First we have given Pada sanya. Now it is giving Bhasanya. When the Anga is called Bhasanya means Yachi. Yakaradau Pratyaye Pare Ajadishu Pratyayeshu Pareshu. When Yakaradi Pratyaya or Ajadi Pratyayas are suffixed to a particular Anga, that Anga will be called Bha. Bham. Bhasanyakam Bhavati. Now you compare these two rules. This Ajadi Pratyayeshu, of course, Yakaradi Pratyayas will not come in the Swadi Pratyayas. Later on they will come. In different contexts it will be taken. So, in Asarvanamasthane, you have got Ajadi Pratyayas also. For example, Dvitiya Bahuvachanam is Asarvanamassthanam. First five are Sarvanamassthanam. Dvitiya Bahuvachanam is Arsan. What is the Pratyaya in Dvitiya Bahuvachanam? Ses. That is As. It is starting with Ach. And if you go to Trutiya Ekavachanam, it is the Pratyaya is called Ta. So Takara Itu Bhavati A. That is also Ajadi. And so on and so forth. Chaturdhi Ekavachanam Nye E Ajadi. Panchami Shashti As. That is also Ajadi. Saptami Ni E. That is also Ajadi. Os. That is also Ajadi. So these Ajadi Pratyayas are being imposed in Asarvanamasthana. Of course, Bhyamu, Bhisu, Bhyas also are to be imposed, Su also at the end. When Bhyamu, Bhyasu, they are not Ajadi. Saptami Bahuvachanam also Su, it is not Ajadi, it is Haladi. So, yachibham, this rule says, in swadishu pratyayeshu, ajadi pratyayas, when ajadi pratyayas are imposed, operated, prescribed, the anga gets bhasanyakam. Depending, according to the former rule, all asarvanamasthanas are having padasanya. Asarvanamasthaneshu angasya padasanya bhavati. Here in asarvanamasthana places, we have got ajadi pratyaya separately, haladi pratyayas also separately. So when ajadi pratyayas are being followed with the after the anga, anga gets bhasanya. So whether what is the actual sanya to be taken? Whether it is to be taken as pada or bha. It is conflicting. It is conflicting. Both are having equal force. So we have to take the tradition of grammar. What is the tradition of grammar? I told later rule which will be left scopeless if it is not taken at all. Even though it is conflicting with the former rule, the later rule only is to be taken. So, as per that, when in asarvanama sthaneshu, when ajadi pratyayas are taken, the word before ajadi pratyayas will have bhasanyam, and when haladi pratyayas are taken, you have to take it as padasanya. When haladi pratyayas are there is no conflict. When only ajadi pratyayas are imposed, we are getting conflict. Because whether to apply padasanya in general, padasanya is taken in general, and these ajadi pratyayas are in particular. So in particular places, whatever the sanya is given, whether that is to be followed or the earlier sanya, samanya sanya. Always exception is more powerful than the general rule. So we have to take it as exception. The later rule is exception. So here ajadi pratyayeshu pareshu asarvanamasthāneshu angasya bhasanyakam bhavati. Later things, that is haladi pratyayeshu pareshu angasya padasanya bhavati. We will take that. So what is the purpose of this? I will cite one example. Vishwapa iti ekah shabdah vartate. Akaranta pullinga shabdah. Vishwam pati, God. He protects the world. Vishwapa iti shabdah. Akaranta pullinga shabdah. When you employ sas pratyaya, vitiya bahuvachanam, asarvanamasthānam, so Vishwapa plus sas. This is ajadi pratyaya. Suppose ajadi pratyaya, if I take the swadishu asarvanamasthane padasanya, what will happen? Vishwapa plus as iti sthite savarna dirgha agacchati Vishwapa. But that is a faulty form. Vishwapa plus as, because this is ajadi pratyaya, leaving out padasanya, we have to give only bhasanya. When you give bhasanya for it, only bhasanya karyani will be applicable. One of the bhasanya karyam is akaraha at the end of Vishwapa shabdaha, that will be omitted when bhasanya is taken. Because different rule is there. So Vishwapa will get Vishwap. Vishwap plus ses, Vishwap plus as, Vishwapas, Vishwapaha. So when you take it as bhasanya, Vishwapaha is the form. When you take it as padasanya, Vishwapaha is the faulty form. So here bhasanya is taken in preference to padasanya because of the tradition of the grammar, that later rule only, which will be left scopeless if it is not employed in preference to later former rule. That tradition we have to follow, and we have to take bhasanya in this case. Now we will go to the next rule. विप्रतिषेधे परम कार्यम. Second rule, vipratishethe parang karyam. What is vipratishethe iti saptami? Karyam. Karyam means the rule to be followed. Here in this context, generally karyam means the thing to be done. In this context, the rule to be followed. Param karyam. Param means later thing, later rule is to be followed. When vipratishethe. Vipratishetha means, vipratishetha generally means pratishetha visheshena pratishetha vipratishetha. Opposition of two courses of action. Opposition of two courses of action, where the two courses are equally important. So there is a conflict between two courses of action. Accordingly, in grammar also, when two different rules are there, having equal force, both of them become possible equally. There is a conflict between two equally forcible rules. In that case, param karyam. When two rules are enjoined in this grammar, both the rules are equally forceful. Tulya bala virodhaha. That is the Shastra. That is how the Shastra has described vipratishetha. Tulya bala virodhaha. The conflict of two rules by which two different grammatical operations become possible according to different rules. Tulya means samana. Bala, the force is equal. Because the force is equal, both are coming forward, take me, like that. So there is an enmity, virodhaha. Virodha generally means enmity. Here, the conflict of two rules. In that case, vipratishethe, that is saptami. It is to be interpreted when vipratishetha occurs. It is called sati saptami prayogaha. It has got a different sense, a peculiar sense. When vipratishetha occurs, wherever vipratishetha occurs, wherever two rules, different rules, equally forceful rules, they conflict with each other, then param karyam. The latter rule only, latter sutra is to be applied and not the former sutra. This will be applicable only when tulya bala virodhaha is there. About the tulya bala virodha, we have to estimate it at each place. We will take one example. There is one rule, ato dirgho yai, akarantad angat, yayadi pratyayeshu pareshu angasya dirghaha bhavati iti rule. After akaranta anga, Rama, akaranta anga. Yayadi pratyayeshu pareshu. When the pratyaya is yayadi, yaya is a pratyahara. Ya, va, ra, la, nyamaganana, jhabha, tavat paryantam. All these letters will come in the pratyahara of yaya. So when yayadi pratyayas are imposed on an akaranta anga, then the anga gets elongation, dirgha. Rama plus bhyam. Earlier we have seen Rama plus bhyam iti sthite. Ramabhyam we have taken. This dirgha has occurred because of this rule. Actually, this rule pertains to thing. The later sutra Supicha. In Subantas also this rule is to be followed. So, ato dirgho yai and supicha, both the rules, they prescribe this action, akaranta angasya dirgha, when followed by yanyadi pratyaya. This is one rule. And then you go to another form, Rama plus bhyas. For example, Chaturthi, Panchami, Bahuvachanam, Rama plus bhyas. Here, Rama is akaranta anga, as before. Bhyas also, bhakara, that is bhyam, this is bhyas. Bhakara is equal. So, bhakara is yanyadi pratyaya. Here, as per the previous rule, ato dirgho yayi supicha, you have to get Rama plus bhyas iti sthite, dirgha is to be added, Rama bhyas. But we don't do it. It's a faulty form. Here in this particular context, Bahuvachane jeli et is a later rule. Bahuvachaneshu pareshu, even though this is pratyaya is yanyadi, angasya ekaro adeshaha. Purvam yanyadi pratyayeshu pareshu angasya dirgha is imposed. Here, bahuvachana vishaye. Earlier rule is samanya. Wherever the yanyadi pratyaya is imposed, anga gets dirgha. Here, bahuvachana cases, only bahuvachana cases are exceptions. So, bahuvachane pare akaranta angasya ekaro bhavati yanyadi pratyayeshu pareshu. Here, what is the rule? Bahuvachane jeli et. Jeli is told. In this jal, you have got bhakara also. Jabhai, Ghadadash, Ja, starting from Jakara to Hakara, ending Hakara, you have got Jal. So this Bhakara is there in Yai Pratyahara and also in Jal Pratyahara. As per this rule, he says, Bahuvachaneshu pareshu akarantasya angasya ekaradesho bhavati jaladau pratyaye pare. As per this rule, Rama plus bhyas iti sthite ramebhyas bhavati. Now the question is, which rule is to be given preference? Former rule supicha, akarasya dirghatvam, akarantasya angasya dirghatvam. Later rule bahuvachane jeli et, akarasya ekaraha. They are having equal force. Now, vipratishedhe parankaryam. So, tulya bala virodha is there. Here, in these two different rules, equally forceful, equally important, there is a conflict between evenly matched interests. So, what is to be done? Second rule only, paramkaryam, the later rule only is. So, ramebhyaha, etvam only is to be taken. Now we will go to the next sutra. Many more examples can be given whenever we get some occasion regarding the further course of study. Then we will explain. This is happening because Parasutram is taken because Vipratishethe Paramkaryam. Next rule, Yu Striyakhyav Nadi. This is a Nadi Sanya Sutram. What are the words which are to be called Nadi in grammar? Generally, Nadi means river. This is the general meaning in the Loka. But here we have got a different meaning. You Striyakhyav. Different words. I have written separately. U means E plus U becomes U. How? By what sandhi? Yanadesha sandhi. E plus U. So here we have to take Ikaranta and Ukaranta. Ikaranta Shabdas and Ukaranta Shabdas. The next qualification is Striyakhyau. That is to be separated. Sandhi is to be separated. Stri Akhya. Stri plus Akhya, Striyakhya bhavati. Here also Yanadesha. Striyakhyau iti dvivachanam. Because it is qualifying you. You is dvivachanam. Ikara and Ukara. So this Ikaranta Shabda and Ukaranta Shabda should be Striyakhyau. Striyakhyau means Stri Akhya. Akhya means meaning. So declared. Declared in Strilinga. Stri means Strilinga. Declared in feminine gender. Specified to be feminine gender. So use Striyakhyau means Ikaranta Shabda and Ukaranta Shabda specifically designated as feminine gender. They are called Nadi. Ikaranta Shabdaha, Ukaranta Shabdaha, when they declare, when they mean, when they are fixedly applied only for feminine genders, they are named Nadi Sanya. Why these Sanya Sutras are framed? Whenever this Ikaranta, Ukaranta Shabdas are to be performed, when the operations are to be explained, he will take Nadi Sanya. Again and again he is not going to take Striyakhyau you. Ikaranta Strilinga, Ukaranta Strilinga is not going to take. He is going to take only Nadi. Nadi Sanya Karyani. The grammatical operations which have to be performed on words having Nadi Sanya. There are so many. We will be coming across later. So for that this Sanya is made here. We will take one example. Ikaranta Strilinga Shabdaha. Kumari. Kumari is a Shabda originating from Kumara Shabda. Kumara means in a particular Vayo Vyavastha, in particular age, a person is called Kumara. Say up to 10 years or 12 years or 15 years, whatever it is. Right from Shishu Vyavastha, Bala Vyavastha, Kumara Vyavastha, and then Yuvaka Vyavastha, Vruddha Vyavastha, all those things. So when this Kumara Vyavastha, in that particular age group, one is called Kumara. On that a Stri Prachaya is operated, Gnip Prachaya, Vayasi Prathame iti Gnip Prachaya. So Kumara plus E, Kumari bhavati. Kumari means a young girl. This is Ikaranta Strilinga Shabdaha. Because this Ikara is specifically enjoined upon Kumara Shabda to denote Strilinga. So this is Ikaranta Yu Striyakhyau. In that description it comes. So this is having Nadi Sanya. Nadi Sanya Karyani Bhavanti Kumari iti Shabdat. Another example is Gauri Shabdaha. This Shabda is formed on Gaura Shabdaha. Gaura means a particular color. A person having that particular color is called Gauraha. Strid Gauradibhyascha iti Snisht Prachayo bhavati Striyam. So Gaura plus E, Gauri. Gauri means a name of a deity, Lord Shiva's wife. So Gauri Shabdaha Ikaranta Strilinga Shabdaha. Because Stri Prachaya is enjoined upon Gaura. So this is also an example of Nadi Sanya. On this also Nadi Sanya Karyani Bhavanti. लक्ष्मीः लक्ष्य इति धातुः ई इति उणादि प्रत्ययः that also signifies स्त्रीलिंग so मूढागमः लक्ष्य plus makara plus e Lakshmi. This is also a name of deity, Vishnu's wife. This is also Ikaranta Srilinga Shabdaha. You will observe these words are formed with different pratyayas and pradipadikas. How these Srilinga words are formed, this will be demonstrated by here. Shangaravi, Shangaravasya Patni ityarthe. This is all again Lakshmi Devi. Shargnanava Pradipadikat Gneen Pratyayah. Sri Pratyayah. Sharngaravi. These are the examples of Ikaranta Strilinga Shabdas. Then we will go to, they are all called Nadi Sanya. A Nadi Sanya has been given. So, whatever Karyani are there, whatever grammatical operations are there to be performed on Nadi Sanya, all those will be performed on these Shabdas. Ukaranta. Brahma Bandhu iti Ukaranta Strilinga Shabdaha. Brahma Bandhu Shabdaha, it has emanated, it has been derived from Brahma Bandhu, Ukaranta Pullinga Shabdaha. Brahma Bandhu. Brahma Bandhu, there is a rule, Stri Prachaya rule, Ung Utaha. Ukarantat Ung iti Prachayo Bhavati, Ukara Bhavati, to make it Srilinga. So, Brahma Bandhu plus U, Brahma Bandhu Bhavati. This is Ukaranta Strilinga Shabdaha. Because this Ung is a Stri Prachaya. Another Ukaranta Strilinga Shabda we will take. Yavaguhu. Yavagu. Yavadhanyasya preparation. Yavadhanyamula. What do you call in English? Java. Poach. With Yavadhanya, it is called soup. Yava iti Pradipadika, Tasmat, yu misrane iti dhatuhu, Tasmat aguch prachayaha. U plus aguch. Agu. U plus agu. U becomes yo. Yavagu. Yavagu. This is Ukaranta Strilinga Shabdaha. How it has come into Strilinga? By Loka Vyavahara. There is no Sri Prachaya here. Just like Shangaravi, Lakshmi. This is by Loka Vyavahara, Yavagu Shabdaha, Ukaranta Strilinga Shabdaha. So also Vadhu Shabdaha. It is also in Strilinga. So all these Shabdas are to be taken with Nadi Sanya. Nadi Sanya Karyani Bhavanti. Then, in this, when you particularly frame this rule, why he has taken you, Ikaranta, Ukaranta, Strilinga Shabdas are called Nadi Sanya. So, if it is Ikaranta, it is a Strilinga Shabda, but Ikarantam Nasti, Ukarantam api Nasti, then they are not Nadi Sanyas, they won't get Nadi Karyani. Examples, Matru Shabdaha. Duhitru Shabdaha. Matru means mother. Duhitru, daughter. Matru and Duhitru is Rikaranta Shabdaha. They are Strilinga only. But here, they are not Ikaranta or Ukaranta. So, Nadi Sanya will not be given to them. So, Nadi Sanya Karyani Nabhavanti. For example, Matru plus Chaturthi. Matru plus A. If it is really a Nadi Sanya, Adagamaha will, Ad Nadyaha iti sutrena, Adagamaha will come. So, Adagama will not come. Matru plus Gne, Matru plus A, Matre. Duhitru plus A, Duhitre. So, Ad Nadyaha iti Nadi Karyam atra nabhavati. Again, Striyakhyau ityuktam. It should be ikaranta word and ukaranta word, but it should firmly declare it's a Strilinga shabda. We will take one ikaranta shabda. Gramani shabda. Gramam nayati. Ityarthe Gramani shabda. The leader of the village. This is a masculine gender. So it will not get Nadi Sanya. Nadi Karyani na bhavanti. Another example is Senani. Senam Nayati. He leads the Sena. Sena Nayakaha. Senani. This is also in masculine gender. So it is not Nadi Sanya. Kalam Punati. He cleans the kala, agricultural operations. Kalam, kalapu shabdaha, ukaranta shabdaha. It is in masculine gender, so it will not get. And he could have told you Stri. Why at all he has taken Akhya shabdaha atra? Akhya means, he means, in the meaning of the shabda, in the meaning of that word itself, Stritvam should be there. Stritvam should not be inferred by means of a different pada after that. In the padardha, in the shabdardha itself, that Stritvam should be there. Only such cases will be taken as Nadi Sanya. For example, we have got a sentence. Gramanihi Stri. The leader of the village is a lady. Kalapuhu Stri. The person who cleans the kala, she is a lady. Here, when you see Gramani Shabdaha or Kalapu Shabdaha, Gramani is Stri iti Ukte Sati, although that Gramani is a feminine gender, she is a female. But it should not be taken as, it is to be taken as masculine gender only, because there is a particular word Stri. Because of that Shabda, you are inferring the Gramani is the Strilinga. So this is not really Strilinga. It is masculine gender only. Kalapu and Gramani and Senani, they are masculine gender only. By the help of a word following that, you are inferring that she is a lady. So such things will not be taken as Nadi Sanya. So when you say Gramanye Striyai, for a particular lady who is leading the grama, if you want to tell it, Gramani Shabdat Chaturdhi, Stri Shabdat Chaturdhi, Gramani Shabda, because it is Pullinga only, even though it is describing a Stri, it is not Strilinga. So Gramanye Bhavati Chaturdhi, Stri Shabdaha, because it is a Strilinga Shabdaha, Ikaranta Shabdaha, Striyai iti Adagamaha Bhavati. Nadi Karyani Bhavanti. On Stri, Nadi Karyani Bhavanti. On Gramani, Nadi Karyani na Bhavanti. So what are these Nadi Sanya Karyani? One or two, yes, we will take examples. Nadi Sanya Karyani. Ad Nadyaha is the one sutra which are describing Nadi Karyani. Nadi Sanya Karyani. The grammatical operations to be performed on words with having Nadi Sanya. Adagamaha Bhavati Nadyaha. Ante Nadi Sanyaka Shabdebhyaha Adagamaha Bhavati when Nit Prachayas are operated upon. Nit means Nye, Nyasi, Nas, Nye. Chaturthi, Panchami, Sashti, Saptami, Ekavachanam. For example, you take a Nadi Sanya word, Gauri. Gauri plus Nye. Nye means A. Adagamaha. Gauri plus A plus A. A plus A, Vruddhi. Atascha iti Vruddhi. Gauri plus I bhavati. Anadeshaha. Gauryai bhavati. So also, पंचमी गौरी प्लस अस् आडागमः आड् नद्याः इति नदी कार्यं गौरी प्लस आ प्लस अस् वृद्धि आस् गौरी प्लस आस् यणादेश संधि गौर्यास् गौर्याः षष्ठी also गौर्याः. This operation, this rule will be applied even for the Saptami Ekavachanam. Gauri plus Ni, Gauri plus E, Ner Am is another sutra. Gauri plus Am, Adagamaha, Gauri plus A plus Am, Gauri plus Am, Anadeshaha Gauriyam. These are the examples of Nadi Karyani. And another sutra about this Nadi Karya also we will tell. Ambardha Najjor Raswaha Sambuddhau. In Sambodhana Prathama Vibhakti, Ambardha Shabda, the words relating to Amba, meaning mother, Amba Ichadi. Amba, Allah, Akka. They are the words Matruvachakaha. Amba, Allah, Akka. Akaranta Matruvachaka Shabdaha. After those words and after Nadi Sanyaka words, Sambuddhau Hraswaha Bhavati. Sambodhana Prathama Vibhakti Ekavachanam Hraswaha Bhavati. He Gauri plus Su Sambuddhi. He Gauri Bhavati. He Amba plus Su. He Amba Bhavati. So this is also one Nadi Karyam. Only after Nadi Sanya Shabdas this Haswatvam is there. Now we will go to the next sutra. Neyang Uvang Sthana Vastri. One 4 Neyang Uvang Sthana Vastri. Let us divide it. Sandhi. Na Iyang Uvang Sthanau Astri. You and Nadi, they will follow. Anuvartete. That means, na, this is Nishedha Sutra. Ikaranta, Ukaranta, Nitya Strilinga Shabdaha will get Nadi Sanya as per the previous rule. But this rule is restricting the freedom. Ikaranta, Ukaranta, Strilinga Shabdaha, when they become eligible for Iyang and Uvang Adesha, they are not Nadi Sanya. This is a Nishedha Sutra for Nadi Sanya. Ikaranta, Ukaranta, Strilinga Shabdas, naturally they should be brought under the Nadi Sanya as per the previous rule. The present sutra is intended to bar some words wherein they become eligible for Iyang or Uvang Adesha. So where is the basis for this Nishedha? Those Ikaranta, Ukaranta, Strilinga words, when they become eligible for Iyang Adesha, Uvang Adesha, then they are accepted from Nadi Sanya. Nadi Sanya Karyani Nabhavanti. So how do you judge whether they are Iyang Uvang Sthanakau? Iyang Uvang Sthanau means they become eligible, they become Sthana for Iyang Adesha, Uvang Adesha. Sthana means they become source. They become the source for Iyang. Ikarantasya Iyang Bhavati, Ukarantasya Uvang Bhavati. They become eligible. Sthana means they get this Iyang and Uvang, they get the place in those words. It's applicable to those words. So, evidently, such words are to be exempted from the Nadi Sanya. How to know which word is having Iyang Adesha or Uvang Adesha? There is a particular rule. Achi snudhatu bhruvam yoho Iyang Uvangau. Ajadi pratyayeshu pareshu Ikaranta, Ukaranta, शब्दानां इयङ्गादेशो वा उवङ्गादेशो वा भवति. इकारान्तस्य यङ् भवति, उकारास्य उवङ् भवति. So Sri and Bhru, these are two examples. Sri gets iyang adesha, Bhru gets uvang adesha of when you impose ajadi pratyayas. So these to bar Sri and Bhu from Nadi Sanya, this particular rule is framed. We will take up in detail in the next class. We will come to our refrain with Shanti Mantra. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.